Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at basically to cut a long story short, we're going to be taking a look at the Dastardly Duos and essentially going to see how you can score high for week number 4, I believe it is. Now, it's important to understand there are a couple things you do need to do to prep your runs to make them work a little bit better. Fish or hot dogs, you'll speak to Woden, the troll, who's just outside the challenge. Make sure you pick either one is okay, but make sure you're picking one to get a score boost bonus. They'll have different effects on you. The fish does add a slightly higher multiplier, but it's just going to depend obviously on which one you're more comfortable with. Make sure you have the Duo Darling or Darling Duos achievement. It helps a lot, not like hugely. It's only going to add a couple tens of thousands to your score, but you know, every little bit counts. So getting this is pretty simple. You just have to die 3 times in a run and win, and then after that you just speak to Vinny and you should have the achievement. Make sure you're stacked up on clocks and bullhorns. You don't need tons of them. You can only really get through about 2 clocks per run, give or take, depending obviously on how you go. And bullhorns you need to be careful with, but they do help. You will need them. Now, when preparing for the run, make sure that you take the challenge food. You can have 1 challenge food up at a time, so you can't have 2. Then I always take the amp buff. The amp buff just gives movement speed. It's just very good for making your way across the map. It's something you need to do because it does. It just makes your life a lot easier to get across that map and to be able to maximize your opportunities and get away from bosses and mechanics, which is very important. So we have all of that, everything working quite nicely. Then we have to start the run. Now, when you start the run, focus on pulling the mob packs or getting them together or just prioritizing getting to the props. The props are the trees, the sideboards, all of that. You want to get rid of them as soon as possible because props are where the cherry bombs spawn. The sooner the cherry bombs are up, the sooner you can start to score multiple points. With the bombs, make sure that they are spread around the map. Previously, I like to overlay them, but especially if you have the hot dog and things like that, you start to just kind of push all the bombs all over the place. The important thing is to have big zones, semi-overlapping, where you can score 2 times quite easily. That means you have the ability to move around, but also maintain your score. So the bomb management, bomb placement is very, very crucial. Use bullhorns, but be careful not to overstack bosses. Bullhorns are great because what they do is they allow you to add extra bosses or mobs or packs of mobs into the fight, which allows you to score more. But if you start to use 2 or 3 bullhorns too quickly, you can stack bosses that really just don't work well together, and you can end up in a situation where you are not really having that great a time because you are now basically stacking way too many bosses and it's taking you too long. Because clock management and time management is crucial. Time management is where you'll score most of your points. You score a lot of points from defeating mobs and the bombs, and you score a lot of points from time. They're almost equal, but time is more important. So making sure your bar stays green, very crucial. Making sure that you hit the maximum amount of clocks allowed in a run of 10, very crucial. So all of this is super duper important. When you have the vehicles, you need vehicle master keys. You get them from finishing runs. Vehicles are great. They allow you to de-aggro certain bosses, which allows you to break debuff mechanics. They allow you to do AoE damage and just allow you to have a bit more mobility around the map. You can only use them every once in a while, but they are super helpful. The new boss for this week is the Faux Reaper. He also comes with a Molten Slag Pile. Nothing too wild with him. He'll do kind of like a wild / fury charge AoE. Just basically pull him away from that, and then make sure you're pulling him away from the Molten Slag, and you're pretty much done. You won't have any more issues, so that's really, really good. Other than that, yeah, last couple tips: practice your runs, manage your deaths, use stuns and silences on mob packs, and bring CC. That's really all I can suggest. It's pretty tough now to start scoring high, so keep your eyes on the prize, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.